sky is as bright as it's going to be. If you close your eyes hard enough to reality, your mind opens to let memories in. That's one way to remember what's forgotten. When an unwanted memory intrudes on the mind, it is a natural reaction to want to block it out or just change it. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. You weren't supposed to know how to start the automaton pew-pew pang, but clearly you figured that out way back then. Watch out for drop-offs. They can surprise you down here. Out of Date says the time has come for you to reconcile with your past. Lupa Lupin is still staying in the camp where he was brought up. He hopes you'll find the answers you are looking for there. Even though darkness is a part of your nature, he suggests you try to keep your cool, as the best fighter is never angry. He'll point you in the right direction, but the rest is up to you. This part of the journey is one you'll have to do on your own. Lupa Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. Out of Date hopes you'll find your way and the answers you were looking for once you're there. He knows he said it before, but the time has come to put an end to the Lupin's reign of terror. You should get over there, come face to face with destiny. It's going to be you against the Lupin. No rules. He's happy to help. Says your mother was the best of all. She was a leader in every way, and you might be too. Says you'll meet again. He guesses you're back for more. Says it feels strange to see you wandering about. Says you'll meet again. He guesses you're back for more. So, says you covered the important things already. Might want to get a move on before it gets too dark. Let's see. Wood scrap's great for building things. Heroes inspire in a way nothing else can. Take this seriously, or it'll take you down. Lupin says he's been looking forward to this moment. He wanted you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different, a hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy, only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did, and let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. He knew his time would come, and he was patient. So, when he got news about your birth, he knew how to get revenge that would last. That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. He marked you for life, so he'd recognize you when you met again, and you'd eventually remember where you came from. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature, and he couldn't go hungry. But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. Just so. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates, and the strongest survive. Fate is for those too weak to determine their own destiny, and now the time has come for you to accept yours. Not enough key energy. You're still aboard your mount, which is probably a good sign. It's a brand new day. At various stages of life, we all become memories for others, and just seeing someone acts as a catalyst for the past to seep in again. Memory distortions are troubling. Illusions your mind creates to avoid the memories of being bullied as a kidling. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. So, you remembered the automaton's power-up feature. That's a boost. You're in charge of that mount. Act like it. This one is Bang Shelter 8F. Wonder how long they held out here. It's a cold zone. Even a thick coat of fur is enough to keep you warm here. So much easier to see all the colors during the day. Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy. He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east. Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Noko and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped. Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared. Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He's happy to help. Says that sometimes it's good to question the belief of others, like you do with the Pichu tribe. Wouldn't be surprised if you met again.
Kim hobe bekoko ivad muk.
He guesses you're back for more.
Kim hobe bekoko ivad muk.
Wouldn't be surprised if you met again. You got the moves. Higher than the clouds. Says the shop holds something. Says they're known for their high-quality goods. Ah, the Gnote pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again. Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark. But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not. Seems reluctant to even say its name. It's become personal to her too, since it's taken so many of her innocent gnotes as prey. Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be. She sees you're back to buck with Lupa-Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least. She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still. Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like, until it's... Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupa-Lupin to pay for what he did to her gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature.
There's a bright day coming!
Hey, that's going to get you burned.
The only one getting burned around here is you.
That stings.
Oh, do you want some first aid for that?
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones. You can't do everything you want, can't go everywhere, can't see everything, only what you can. So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the gnotes die with it. Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out. Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights do. Says that's only for a little while, and when your eyes clear, you see everything even better than before. But let's not speak of that now. She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow. The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you. You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater. She can't be sure. You'll have to wait and see. Noko is always willing to help. Wants to know what sort of wonderful things you have planned today. Thinks it's weird you haven't met Lobo yet. You should hit the blimp station and put that right. Says talking to you was interest. Noko is always willing to wish. If the mount didn't throw you, you're good. You found the Majut Meadow. Watch out for the Majut. Middle-lifed. Whoosh! It's not so dark out anymore. bruised. Seems like your mount likes you well enough. Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned. She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down. The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and the... The chewing really calmed it down. She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time. It was the mere sound of the hoof puff that started it. She's never seen it so upset. It just ran away before. Nothing's more important right now than this. A crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? That's shut and good. Gonna need a key of some kind. Look at the details on this one. Everything is at stake. Easy does it. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. You'd expect to wind the cranks to operate the dispenser. What you see is what you get. Once it's out of the blind box, that is. You flick the switches in order to greenlight the current and activate the electrons in the panel. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. You can see a lot farther now than at night. Looks like some solid wood scrap there. With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world mecha-Majut. If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That seems to her they preferred the mecha-Majuts over the living counterparts in the old world. Maybe the Gnotes were near extinct. Noko is always willing to help. Understands completely. You must have been a little nervous when you first met the Jagni tribe. Wishes you goodbye. The mount's ears are not handles. The Smilo Shopperia. Guess shopping here put a smile on your face. Couldn't just be open, eh? Lockety-lock. Eye boxes like this are few and far between. However, that's no great loss. Talking pictures from the aforetimes lacked a message. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Don't trip over what you can't see. Now hold on. You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the mechamojet. That's too much distress. 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 That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Nocco. Don't trip it, just keep moving. Where are the control sticks on this thing? Look at those notices on the board. Too bad the Gnotes couldn't read them. If you wander around here, you might find Noko. She just loves those Gnotes. Once the power ran out, it made sense to ride Gnotes, and that tradition continued through the years. Powered types of transportation polluted the world, but didn't poop in the street. Obviously, they didn't have their priorities right in those days. Watch your step here, and you might find tracks of another.
Asilnatu. Asilnatu.
Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of Bon Gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to...
Asilna pialtu taifanamenuma.
You'll find Mito at bright light.
Aplitonumuta.
She's noticed the front teeth seem to be a little loose, so you might be able to pull them out with the pull hook. This is turning out to be quite an expedition. Let's get that mount moving while the getting is good. This place is called Brightlight. Mito lives close by. With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it. And even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that. Figures that doesn't make it any less worth fighting. You've found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it? Hopes you see how much good you can do with power like that, and how easy it is to let it drive you mad. No matter where your path takes you, though, it's important to remember where you came from. The past brightlights the present. Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine? Says he can see that in the way you brighten everything up. So happy you know you're helping brighten the world. There's plenty of it that's still worth saving. Whatever happens to the world, you shone as bright as you could. That matters more than you know. Says you did the right thing in taking up with the Myriad. They buy lots of his lamps. That's a tribe that believes in the bright things in the world. It's clear you do. Nothing shines as bright as being right. Says he can see by the twinkle in your eyes that you're not here to talk about your allies. He assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you, as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days. There's something about you, like you're knit together. Your fate's connected. What you've said, he feels too. So why not call him Me Too? He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last. Afraid. Says it's pronounced that way, but spelt different. But he feels that connection with you. Mito says he's not only into those who shine bright, he likes things that glitter, too. He reckons you haven't seen a glitter moth, and says it's about time you did. Even though they're nesting near gone grass, they never run out of glow. Finding yourself a glitter moth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end. You really do need them alive. Dead glitter moths fade. There are places up ahead far worse than this. Let's see. They used to call this a thoroughfare. Look at all those old homes. Love to hear a mount's footbeat. When a story comes to you, pay attention. Let's see. Cautions you that they're aware you're allied to another tribe. Says you came to the right place. They only stock products of the finest quality. There's no way they'll do that. They're smarter than you think. They won't buy into your trickery. Let's see. The day is here. That place there's a real fixer-upper, not an entirely lost cause. That's a Terra Globus from the... You need to swivel the Globus's bearings to get the Atlas mapper to work. You need to swivel the Globus's bearings. You need to swivel the Globus's bearings. You need to swivel the Globus's bearings. Don't get dizzy up in the mountains. Says there's an interesting place nearby that no one knows about, but says you were a quiet kid and is happy to see you working toward progress. Wish... Imagine listening. Says it's a box that lets you listen to someone talking from far away. Just keep your eye out for the radionic, or maybe your ears. Might take some figuring to get it working if it's broke, but you're up for that. Figures that's the smart way to go.
Mashuata Nina Kum.
Wonders what kind of good you'll get up to today.
Mashuata Nina Kum.
Says you're welcome.